There's somebody. There's Will.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, Saul.
I will. Just coming over from the APCUG Saturday Safari.
I took this 3-week course on Android phone, which answered a lot of questions I had, but not all of them.
Well, they're all different.
They are. They assume a lot of things are intuitive, but I'm an old fart, and a lot of intuitives I don't I don't do.
Not everybody thinks the same way each of us does.
The one that gets me is, in order to delete something, you just swipe it off the screen rather than try to hit something about delete. And ran into something when you get into my files on the phone. I was trying to figure out how to delete a file. I bring up the file and there's nothing that says delete the file. And finally, I don't know, I found out somewhere, go back to where you're going to load the file and do a long press on the file name, and then a menu comes up and says one of the things is delete. And I guess that's intuitive, but it wasn't intuitive to me at first until I finally kind of figured out what was going on. But apparently that's the way you delete anything from your My Files collection. Hi, Barbara.
Yeah, when you're dealing with a small screen, you have to be very creative in figuring out how to do controls and things that that are totally foreign compared to using a computer with a large screen and a mouse.
Barbara, I was just talking about our class on Android that we had with Mary Burns, and you were in that class, weren't you, Barbara?
I still like the old cell phone, you know, the party line phone. It was a lot less complicated.
You're really old.
I was trying to find something today about a smartphone, and I found a place on, I Googled it on my computer, and I think what I said was, how do I easily switch back and forth between two apps that are both open on an Android? And you know, I'm spoiled in a computer. I just hold the Alt tab down and attach tab.
Oh, is that how it's done?
Learn something every day.
But there's no Alt tab on my phone. There's no Alt, there's no tab.
And there's a backspace, however, and I think that's the magic key. It's interesting, they put the backspace on the right-hand side rather than the left-hand side, but it allows you to move it. So I did, because it makes more intuitive sense to me to have a backspace on the left side rather than the right.
Are you talking about the virtual keyboard on a smartphone?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about just what shows up on your screen when you're way down at the bottom. You have essentially the 3 controls at the bottom.
Oh yeah, you've got the circle in the middle, which is the main.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 3 lines on the left, which brings up everything that's going on. And that's how, actually, that's the easy way to do it.
Let me rephrase it. The on-screen keyboard, as opposed to a physical keyboard on your computer.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is not on the on-screen keyboard. This is on your home page, the 3 controls at the bottom, this circle or square in the middle, a backspace caret and the ellipsis, I guess it's called, or the three, whatever they are at the bottom. But I reversed the and put the backspace over on the left-hand side, because going back somehow to the left makes more sense to me than going back from the right.
So you drag the icons around? Is that what you're saying?
No, apparently in settings, one of the options is reverse it, which I did.
Very good.
Interesting.
Maybe you can demonstrate that in the Q&A session today.
I don't have my, well, I should go up and get my cell phone and bring it down. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, last week I tried to go on my desktop on Zoom, and I didn't realize at the time, first of all, I had no sound, and secondly, of course, I had no camera. So I'm about ready to give up on computers, you tell you.
You can get a USB camera with a microphone built into it and plug it into your desktop.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know my PCs are giving me all kinds of trouble, so. Anyway, we'll work through it.
Yeah, they just clip on top of your monitor.
Oh, do they?
So,
Okay.
yeah, so they're very easy.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm debating whether to keep the desktop or just donate it somewhere, but anyway. Okay, let's go get coffee.
Hey, Barb, you just got to fight the good fight. You got to stick with it.
I know. Sometimes it's difficult. Okay, I'm gonna get my coffee and get ready here.
Well, as Saul knows, I was in on the APCUG hybrid meeting this morning, and if we ever really seriously consider a hybrid meeting, there was a lot of information there that if anybody is interested in pursuing a hybrid meeting, they really should watch that video. I've made a few notes about it that I thought were significant. And I also saved the transcript. And
Was it recorded?
It will
I
be.
presume
Well,
it
it is being recorded, but I'm saying it'll probably take about a month to get it posted for people to view through YouTube.
Really? Why does it take that long?
I don't know. I'm just saying it depends on the schedule of the person doing it. Okay. It may be up in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm not doing it. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's just like with you, it's whatever your schedule permits.
Well, my schedule permits me to do it within 24 hours after it's finished recording, because I don't want to forget.
I think it's John Kennedy's schedule, and he is a very busy person.
Oh, yeah, John Kennedy, because it's, okay, it's recorded.
if anybody wants the transcript, which actually, if you search for keywords and things you're interested in, may be of value, I have that. And I can post or send that to Hank and he can put it on the website. Obviously, it stopped when I left the meeting, but you got an hour and 15 minutes, hour 20 minutes of the words spoken during the meeting. But David would, I think, get some information from it, because I think David is of our group here, the one most experienced in hybrid meetings, because Shepherd Center does a weekly hybrid meeting of playing bingo. And it has its own curiosities and problems and solutions and lessons learned and all of that kind of stuff. But I could give a summary off the top of my head if you're interested, but I'm sure you have other things to discuss today.
Yeah, Will is going to tell us everything we don't already know about Facebook, right, Will? Not if he's muted.
Yes, yes.
Muted him earlier because he had background noise that was interfering when Stan was speaking.
And I was going to say, Stan, maybe we can discuss what you saw offline.
Okay,
And,
I'll
and,
talk to you after the meeting.
Good enough.
and Hank, your microphone's a little soft today. Maybe if you could adjust the volume level on it up a little.
Let's see, I'll give that a try. Audio settings. Let's hope it's on there. Microphone. All right, how's that? Any better?
Much better.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to Sammy, who's back.
Oh, hi, Sammy. We haven't seen you for a while. Are you feeling
Hi,
better now?
Sammy. You're muted.
Sammy, you're muted.
How
There
there?
you go.
Okay, I'm gonna try, see how long I can sit here, okay? I am getting better, little by little. If I disappear, that's it, okay?
While you're here, tell us what's going on at Wesley Palms in terms of COVID.
Yes, I'd love to give you a nice big report. I don't have one to give you. Pretty much nothing has changed, nothing. We get
They allow visitors?
notices every day of new people, whether it's a resident or a staff member of COVID. They're all hung up on that. So get notices every day and everybody has to wear a mask. You have to sign in at the front desk if you're my guest before you come over. Show that you've had your vaccination, or if you didn't, you have to fill something out. I don't know. But they're not having any classes come in of any kind.
And how about meals? Are you meeting?
No,
in the
meals,
restaurant?
we still have to go and get. If you sign up for the dining room and make a reservation, and it's within a number allowed, you can go. If you just show up late, you might still get in without a reservation. But it's still monitored heavily. And now they're experimenting with robots in the dining room for the staff, to help the staff.
Hmm.
And it's not being done here at Wesley Palms, but at some of the other front porch communities. So we'll see how that goes. Right now, we don't even have a room that's available for class.
I guess we'll just keep meeting this way then.
Well, unless you can perform a miracle, yeah.
It's the appointed hour.
Are we waiting for Will to get his presentation together, or?
I'm just waiting until the number of participants stop. And while I was speaking that sentence, we've got one more. So that's par for the course.
Well, I'm trying to get in on the computer. I'm here on my phone, so the rolling ball's been going for the last 5 minutes. So, it might be a while here on this one.
Yep.
I notice an attendee by the name of B. McDonald. Have you been on our Zoom before? Miss V or Mr. V? Miss V, I guess it is.
She's muted and I've asked her to unmute herself so she can tell us who she is.
And we can give her an official welcome.
And Willie Stevenson, glad to see you back with us. And Eileen Frame, glad to have you join us again.
Well, we're hanging here at 19 and it is 10:35. So I think I'll say, I'll mute everybody and Will can unmute himself and start when he's ready. Will, you're still muted.
I know, and I'm trying to find.
There you are.
Yeah.
You're unmuted.
I'm trying to find the screen I have open with Facebook on it, and for some reason it doesn't want to show.
You have dozens of other screens open right now?
Well, no, I don't. But let me go back and minimize this and see if I can get to it.
So Facebook is hiding its face from us?
Yeah. Okay, now I've got to get back to our Zoom meeting. It was open on my screen, but it's not there now.
If you alt tab and close a few others, might be.
Yeah. Oh, that was the only thing. Okay, I'm back into the Zoom meeting looking for. Well, for some reason, it doesn't want to come up.
You're having trouble sharing your screen
Yeah, well,
to that particular place on your computer.
yeah, it doesn't want to show.
I think he's just looking for the window he wants to present from.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. And it's not showing up on my share screen window for some reason.
So Dan has his hand up.
Yeah, Dan, comment might help Will.
You don't have closed captions enabled.
Okay, you're right. So you usually ask me to do that, and then I do it.
I'm amiss on that today. I guess it's from having been over in the APCUG seminar this morning. So my apologies.
Will, is the window you're looking for, is it minimized in some way?
Just a moment. Let me look. No, I don't believe so. I think it. Now let me bring up. No, it's open. But then when I go over to the SCG
And share screen, you don't see it?
closes.
Isn't that the same one you used last week?
No, I
Yeah,
was ending last week.
Yeah, well, it should just be in the browser, right?
It should be, but for some reason I can't even get back to our meeting. And
I still don't see closed captions.
Okay, I've got this up here. And if I go to share screen, in share screen, even though I have it open, it's not showing up anywhere.
Do you have more than one monitor, Will?
No, I do not. Just a single monitor. And
Yeah, because it may not show up as Facebook. It'll probably just show up as the browser, or worst comes to worst, share the entire screen.
well, I'm trying to bring up something that would show it. Well, let's share this and see what happens. No, I don't want to share that. Zoom meeting phone investments inbox.
They're encouraging to us, people that are having problems, to see someone will have problems too.
There you go
No,
now. Is that what you wanted, Will?
no, not really.
And, It looks like your
Um,
email client.
It's for some reason it doesn't show up under share screen. And I don't know why, because it's open. I gotta stop the sharing and try again. Let me just
Let me
minimize.
try
this and
something
go
on
to it.
mine for a minute.
Make sure I open it. Yeah, just, okay, there it is. I have it open on my browser. But unfortunately, my Zoom meeting is also open on my browser.
You don't need to be connected to Zoom right now. You could you could log out of your Zoom account. It really wouldn't matter. And close that that window on your web browser.
Well, if
or that
if
tab.
I close out of Zoom, I won't be able
Zoom,
to
not the
share
Zoom
meeting.
app, not the Zoom app. You said you saw Zoom in your web browser.
You know, are you connected via your web browser, or are you connected via the app?
I think I'm connected via the browser, and maybe not. Maybe where is?
Do you have a Zoom icon on your Windows taskbar?
Yes, I do.
And does it look like it's launched?
Yes.
So I think you're in the Zoom app.
Okay. So, yeah,
So you don't need to even be in a Zoom account right now. You just need to find the window or the tab in your web browser that has the Facebook content that you want to present. And within the Zoom app, go to share screen, find it, and put it up.
All right. I see our Zoom session going right now on the screen. And I'm going to click share screen and looking for, aha, I think I found it. There we go. Let's try this.
There we are. Good.
Okay, we're there, right? Can everybody see
Yes.
Facebook? Okay, fine. Sorry for the problems, but I was unable to find it. All right. When you first bring up Facebook, you'll need to fill in all the personal information that you have. Now, Hank covered a lot of this last week as to what you need to do when you sign on. I also noticed that there is a phone app for Facebook, and it seems to be different from the computer app, which baffles me a little bit and also confuses me because I don't know how to use the phone app. It doesn't seem to be exactly the same as the computer app. Now, maybe I just haven't updated my computer program, but I don't think so. I think they're somewhat different. So you may see a difference if you're using just the phone for Facebook versus what I'm going to show as being on the computer. But let's say that you have already established an account and put in all the information that they allow you to put in, which is a whole bunch of stuff that you can put in about yourself. But once you do that and you have an account open with a password and you're able to get into it, I'm going to continue on from there. So when I first bring up Facebook, this is what I see. And it comes up first with, unfortunately, this is in my way. When it first comes up, it is coming up into what is called the Facebook news. And that is not your own personal Facebook page. This is a news page, which presumably shows you things that you should be interested in. As you can see here, I don't know why it shows other people. Maybe those are folks, those indeed are my friends, but I don't know why they're showing up right here in the news. Now, the first thing it says, what's on your mind, Will? This is where I would post a message that I would want to post to this news, this particular news thing, which is not, it doesn't necessarily go on your personal page. I may be wrong on that, but I'm not looking at my personal page right now. I'm just looking at what they call the news. And in that, I got a problem in that some things are being hidden on the page that I can't see at the top.
Will, do you have a control bar from Zoom hiding stuff on you?
Control bar hiding stuff.
Oh, it's kind of a horizontal bar with icons and stuff on it because you're sharing a screen.
Yeah, the trouble is that at the top, okay, I just moved some things over that help me.
I just
it's-
closed that, Will. There was a black bar up at the top and I just closed it. So
Okay, well, the trouble is that the various people that are on our Zoom are on a bar somewhere and they're covering up some things that I need.
you
However,
can
I can
slide them.
I can move it around
You can
somewhat.
move them either
Yeah.
to the right or the left or the top or the bottom.
I
Yeah.
think good point. I'm going to move it to the left because that is, I don't need to use the left very much. All right, so this news thing comes up and where I can say what's on your mind, Will. So let me show you how you would post a message.
Say,
It
Will,
comes up and asks me for what I want to do, and I'm going to say public, and I'm going to then say done down here at the bottom. And now it's asking me to put in a message. Now, this is something I can delete later, so I don't care what I'm putting in, but I'm just going to say hi to SCG's Zoom. And at this point, what I like to do is put this on some type of poster. And if you see down here in the lower left, a colored block with double A's on it, if I click on that, it will bring up a selection of different backgrounds that I might want. I don't know how I can add additional backgrounds. There is a way to do it. I just don't know how. But I'm going to select one, this first one, which is sort of orange. And as you can see, it just comes up with a background of whatever it is and says hi to SCG Zoom. Now, down below, you notice there's a blue bar that says post. And I'm going to click on that, and that will post this message to the site. Now, it's not showing up right now, but it may show up a little bit later. All right, now, as I scroll down here with the news, these are all the various things that various people put up. Their name is at the top, this guy, Mike Juarez. It usually lists the time and the date at which this particular post was made. Most people will post a picture along with a message. If you just post a message with no background or no picture, people tend to ignore it. So it's best to either put it up as a message screen, as I did earlier with the orange background, or some picture that you have, you can post along with that. I didn't show you, but in the posting, I was able to also post a photograph if I wanted to. You're then allowed to go back and do any editing to that posting that you might want to do. Now, you notice here it says write a comment on this particular post. I don't want to comment to this one, but we'll get to one later that I will do. So I'm just scrolling down with my scroll wheel and looking at all the different postings that people have done. These people aren't necessarily my friends. Many of them are, but I don't think it's limited to just my friends that show up on this news feed. And it's not clear to me how they determine who posts to this news feed. Notice also, for instance, now this person is a friend of mine, Janet Erickson, has posted this lovely barbecue beef ribs. But notice that I can do things like see more if there is more additional information on that particular post, which shows it. There may be a link, as you can see here, there's a cooking.4line.art link that goes to it. There are already 6 comments that other people have made to this particular posting, and it shows their names below that. I can hit the like button, which says, I like this particular post. I'm not really making any comment to it. I'm just saying I like it. And I can add an emoticon to my liking. In fact, I'll click on like. And if I go, where are the emoticons? I guess, oh, there they are. I can go up and click emoticon. Let me just click a heart that says I like it. And now I am one of 6 people apparently that have commented on this. Sometimes it doesn't show all the people that have commented. For instance, here, it just shows one person who says I've had ribs yesterday, but up above you notice it says view 5 previous comments. Also to the right is the thing that says most relevant. And there you can determine if you want to see all the comments or what they consider to be the most relevant comments. Sometimes if there are, literally dozens or hundreds of comments, you don't want to see them all. You just want to see maybe none, maybe just a few, maybe what they consider the most relevant ones. It's their decision as to what are most relevant. But in this case, if I want to look at the 5 previous comments, these are 5 people that have commented to it. Now, I can comment to these comments by clicking a reply. Notice here, let's see if I want to reply to anything here. I don't, but as we get to more things, I may reply to it, and I'll show you how that's done. So I really just did a like. I didn't post a comment to it or anything. I just said I liked it and put an emoticon on it. All right, here's a supposedly funny one. Let's go down further. There are a lot of ads on here. Let me show you what you do with an ad. If you have an ad you don't like, and usually you can see an ad down to the bottom, it says shop now. That's a clue that this is an ad. And if you don't want this ad anymore, you go to the ellipsis up here at the upper right-hand corner, the 3 dots, and you click on that. And here you have options on what to do with this particular ad. In this case, I'm just going to say, hide this ad. Now it's going to ask me, why do you want to hide this ad? Must have a reason. And so I can check something and say, in this case, it's repetitive. I don't really want it, or it's irrelevant. I'm just going to say, okay, it's repetitive. And so then it's going to say, what else can you do? Blah, blah, blah. Why did I see this ad? Hide. I'm just going to say it's done. In the lower right-hand corner, the blue window, the blue icon that says done, just click on that. And now it supposedly goes away, or at least won't come back next time. I think I mentioned if at the bottom of a picture says shop now or see more or whatever, that indicates that it is an ad and you may want to get rid of it or maybe just ignore it. Now we get into these things called reels and short videos. These are things which you can generate. They're probably like 30-second or less reels, videos you can see. For instance, if I click on this one, it brings it up along with some sound. And literally within a few seconds, this is interesting. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Guess what? It was a hippo. So now the magic thing is look in the upper upper left-hand corner, I should say. Oh, all right. Let me notice up here. I have a pause. I have a sound. I can mute the sound. I can pause the. I'm working at the top of the video now. You can pause the video. And then there's this ellipsis, which I've never looked at to see what else you can do. But there's a variety of things you can see. Now, to get rid of this, in the upper left-hand corner, notice that there is an X in the upper left-hand corner. This is the magic button that you press whenever you want to delete something. And so I hit that and it goes away. So these reels are interesting. Sometimes they only run for a few seconds. And you can post your own reels. We'll look at that a little bit later. Okay, going on down, these are some of my friends that have posted things. And if you don't want to see them, usually the ellipses at the upper right-hand corner, these three dots, if you click on those, you can do all kinds of things like hide the post if you don't like it, or on and on and on, many different varieties of things you can do. Usually I just ignore it and just scroll on by them. I wanted to show you something else that if I want to comment on something, let's go down here further and get to something which is a pretty picture, and I'll show you what I do with that.
Will, may I jump in here for a minute? You said
Sure.
you weren't sure exactly what people you saw things from on this particular page. And as I remember the video that I found that described how to use Facebook, it was if they were your friend, so you had friended them, or if you were following them.
Okay, could be. Now, here's a photograph that I particularly like, and I would like to save that. So what I do is I right-click on that, which gives me a menu, and one of which is Save the Image As. I have that highlighted now, and I'm going to click Save the Image As. And this is now linked to my page, my photography page, which I don't know if I can bring that down. Yeah, I guess I can. There you are. So you see now that it has linked directly to my data, pictures, beautiful. Well, this particular one I know is in New York State. So I have a folder called New York State, which is where I was born. So I will bring that up. And then I'm allowed to name this particular picture. And in this case, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I'm going to call it NYS number 4. So I just click on NYS 3 and edit that back to a 4 and click OK, save, and it's now saved in my pictures folder. And that's nice because there are times that you want to see some of these pictures and photographs and things. And if you have a pictures folder, you can save these things to it very easily. Notice that I didn't have to do anything else. I just clicked on save it and came right back into Facebook again.
And Will, I just
Yes.
wanted to point out that functionality is got nothing to do with you being on Facebook. That's a functionality of the browser itself for pretty much any picture that's showing anywhere on a browser page.
Is that right? That's good. That's good to hear. I didn't know that. Okay, interesting. And again, you can comment on any of these, you can delete them, you can do all kinds of things, particularly with this ellipsis in the upper right-hand corner. If you click that, you have all these various things that you can do with a particular posting. And I haven't tried all of them. I've done a couple, but for the most part, I just kind of ignore them or reply to them or like them. But I don't usually do anything else. Okay, so going on down, there are some controls. Now, this one, you'll find that there in Facebook a lot of political stuff. You'll, if you respond to it, you're asking for trouble. I would suggest if you don't like it, ignore it. If you do like it, maybe hit the like button or something. But for the most part, you don't want to get into the fights that take place on Facebook. Now, notice that this one comes up when I clicked on it. I don't know quite. Oh yeah, up at the top there is a speaker, so I can unmute it, and you can hear him speaking.
Yeah, I'm guessing you probably didn't share sound when you shared your screen or included sound, so we're not hearing it.
Are you hearing it now?
No, because Zoom
okay.
doesn't know that you wanted to share sound when you shared your screen.
Okay. Well, is it necessary I go back and do that? I don't know that
No.
there's any sound that we need to hear.
No, you
I'm
don't
not-
need to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this ellipsis is at the top. More options. Again, Facebook is full of all kinds of options that you can get to, and I don't understand all of them, but most of them are self-obvious. Okay, now to get out of this, again, go over to the upper left-hand corner where there is an X. And this is your savior. Whenever you have a problem, go press that and it will close down whatever is happening. There's a lot of stuff on here. Some of it comes from your friends. Some of it comes, I don't know how they determine what are the, oh, I know how they determine some things. If you have tried to buy something, it goes into there, this guy is interested in buying XYZ, whatever it is, and you will get all kinds of ads showing up, very much like you do on Google. But there are also things, for instance, if I click on this picture, it gives more information about it on the right. Not showing me what I want, so let me try a different one. Again, all kinds of photographs, comments, which you can, let me find something that I want to comment back to.
Well, would it be possible for you to focus on positive reasons to use Facebook and demonstrate those?
Sure. If you want to spend inordinate amounts of time every day and achieve nothing, Facebook does that for you. However, it's also a good way to find out what's going on with your friends, find out what's going on out in the world, how to entertain yourself, how to make a statement that you want other people to know about that's going on maybe in your life that you're willing to share. Now you can control to whom you share these things. You can either make them public or you can make them pretty much private just to your friends. Let me see if, okay. I'm going back up to the upper right-hand corner where you see there are 4 icons. The first one is called menu. The next is messenger. The next is notifications. And the next is just my my icon, which tells me about my account. Normally, it's the notifications that I would go to. Under the notifications, I will get notifications where people have responded to different different entries that either I have made or I have commented to, or for some reason I have some interest in it. Now here you will see notifications, someone saying that they like something. There are these icons that show a thumbs up, says that they like something. This orange one, I'm not sure what that icon means. There are icons, for instance, down here, where it has a green background with a comment. These are normally comments where someone will actually leave a comment for you. The rest of these that are just thumbs up or smiley faces are just people who have indicated they like your comment or the comment that you have been working with, not that they're going to leave a comment. Only if it's a green thing like this says that they have left a comment. Now, if I just click on this, it will take me directly to that particular, let me move this around, take me to that particular comment. And here you can see that this guy, Douglas Hammer, has responded to me, where earlier I have written a comment to him. So he is essentially responding to me. Notice that it's indented from the major, in fact, two major things. This was my original one responding, and someone responded to me, and then someone responded to them. So it's indented as to how various people respond to you. You can see additional replies that people have done. It tells you how long ago the comments were made. You can like, you can reply, you can share. Now, under share, you can share it with other people or share it to your own web page. So that's something you may want to look at as sharing later on. Okay, so that's notifications. The other one is called Messenger. This one you can do what they call DMs, which is direct messages to different people. They can chat to you or you can chat to them. Here is where you will get new message requests. Usually these are people that want me to friend them, which means, well, that's not exactly true. For some reason, they're requests. I don't know why, but people will make comments. If you comment back, usually it shows up in blue. These are older comments that I don't need to look at. If you do click on somebody, for instance, this Miles Johnston, it takes me down to the actual comment window in which what you say shows up in gray. No, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. What they say shows up in gray. What you respond to shows up in blue. And you can continue on messaging with someone this way. It's all private, so no one else sees this. But and to close it, you click the upper right-hand corner X, and we'll close it out. You see some other icons on here. Apparently you can telephone, you can send a video. I don't know what this one is. Minimize the chat. And this one closes it. So that is messaging. You may want to check that now and then to see if someone is sending you a message, or if you want to send someone a private message. It has some icons here which I have never used, but you can look at those later on. The thing I use mostly is this notifications. I look to see if someone has posted something that I should be interested in, or if they have responded to me, or if they have tagged me and said, hey, they like me or they hate me or whatever. But those are usually the things that show up.
Hello, Will.
Okay, questions.
Yeah, Will, I was wondering, you know, at some point here, there's a Facebook page that other people looking for you will see. How do you build that?
Yes, okay. Let me go to my Facebook page. Let me close down. Let me see how I get back to my Facebook page. It may be in the upper left-hand corner. Oh, I recall now how it's done.
I think you can stop sharing, and then go to your browser and type in Will Wakely Facebook.
I think there's an easier way that I can do that, and
Try
I'm just
clicking on
thinking-
just the house up there. Would that be your home? Dave?
Probably it would be if I could get to that. I have things covering it up at this point,
Okay. A
unfortunately.
little more
Let me
to the
see.
left.
Yeah.
What is it that's covering it up, Will?
There.
It's my Facebook controls.
Click where you are now, Will. Just click.
Let me move them down.
No,
Okay.
move just a
All
hair
right.
to the left. Whoops.
All
sorry.
right, now I'm in Facebook. You're right. I want to go to home, and this.
It's on the little
Right.
Facebook on the left. I think
Yeah, I've
that,
got a black thing covering it up, unfortunately.
Okay,
Can you
go
drag
up.
it out of the way?
Yeah, it is now. All right, you're right. There's a house. It says home. Let me click that and see what happens.
There you go.
That took you back to your news feed.
Right, this is not back to my page. All right, to get to my page.
You can
let's see, I
click
can
on
watch.
your picture up there on the right.
Okay, let's try that. Will see 75 feedback log out. No, that is not my page. To get to my page, I rarely go to my page, as a matter of fact. Let's click my name and see what. Okay, that came up. If I clicked on my name, that did come up with my page, and I have a cover photo that I have installed on it. And this is something when you generate your first page, you can do. You can do all kinds of interesting things on your page, which I'm not going to cover right now because there are a lot of things you can do, and they're pretty intuitive as you go it. You notice that you can add. a
Well,
lot of
I have
information
one
about
thing I
yourself.
want to ask you, and
Yes.
that is, let's take that picture and I want to save it and I want to send it in a message to one of my friends that's not on Facebook. How would I save that to send it to someone else? Not on.
Well, as someone said earlier, that's built into your browser or built into the Windows. You would right click on it, I believe. Let me see if I can right click and I can say save message as. Do you see that?
Yes,
It's the words image, not message. Save it as.
save image, yes.
Yeah. And then you can save that to your computer, give it a name, and then it's a JPG, which you can then send anyone you want.
I can't save it to photos.
Yes,
Yes.
well, I don't know. Anybody know the answer to that one?
Yeah, you when you say save image as, it'll ask you, where do you want to put it? You can put it with your other photos if you want, or you can put it on your desktop.
See,
or-
mine doesn't say that.
Let me just add something if I could. There's usually 3 dots at the top of the photo. And if you hit the 3 dots, or actually you hit on the photo until it's exposed and you have just that, then there's 3 little dots. And one of the options is save photo. It goes right to your photo album. Because I do it all the time.
So she's on a Mac. So
Yeah.
Dollar David might offer a solution here. And I believe she's probably using Safari.
Well,
That's what
I'm
I
not.
use.
I'm
That's
using
what I use
Chrome.
as well.
I'm using Chrome.
Okay. And if you write, okay. How do you click on a Mac again? I had forgotten. You have to use a control key or a command key.
If you have a 2-button device, you do it the same way as in Windows. You just
Right.
use the right key. If you have a 1-button device, you can hold down the control key and left click, and it will be like a right click.
As you can see on my personal page, it lists things like, I didn't know I had 233 friends. I doubt if that's true, but it tells you all kinds of information about it. You can edit your own profile here. You can add to a story that you might have. It gives information about a little biographical information. And then it brings up things that have been posted directly to your page. And it isn't necessarily what shows up on the news. In fact, even when you make comments on that first news page that comes up, it doesn't necessarily go to your private page, which I find discouraging. I would like to have things that I post on that page come here directly, but there's all kinds of things that I've had on here. And again, if you make a post, notice the ellipsis in the right-hand corner, upper right, the 3 dots. If I click on that, I now can modify that post that I made, one of which is delete the post. In this case, I can delete it because it's old. And I just hit delete code, then it wants me to verify that I want to do that. And presumably it goes away. But you also can modify a post. Let's say, for instance, this one, sorry, that one I had already deleted. Let's say this one I want to modify. If I go here to, one of the things I can do is say, edit this post by clicking on the pencil. That brings up the post, which then, be careful, whenever you hit the return key, that means you're all done. It doesn't mean put in a space. So in this case, I can edit it. Let me, this is interesting. I didn't know. Usually it will come up and give me some options, one of which is to edit. Well, I am in
The
edit.
insertion point is in there. It's waiting
Yeah.
for you to type.
Type,
All
yeah.
right, this is different from what normally comes up, but if I do this now, you know,
You
it
can,
doesn't want me to. Yeah, okay. I'm going to say bye. And now in this case, the moment I hit save, that then changed this post. But at this point, I can do things. I can delete the post. You know, I can, I guess, do all kinds of things that I never looked at before. But
I just want to
anyway,
mention that Dan has his virtual hand raised.
Okay, Dan, you have some comments? Dan?
Yes. You were talking, trying to copy a picture which was on a Zoom application, which was on Will's computer, and I don't think you can copy a picture from there. If you were on the Facebook and you saw it, you could copy it from Facebook. But I can't, I can click on it. I can't click on it, actually. I can get the arrow on it, but I won't click on it because it's being broadcast over Zoom by Will Wakely.
Yeah, you cannot copy a picture in a screen share of Zoom.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, Dan, you're correct. But Sammy was just asking if she was on a web browser in Google Chrome and there was a graphic in there, how would she save that and attach it to an email to send to somebody?
Right.
And the answer is right-click on it, then click on the place that says Save As, and it will bring up a place in your computer where you can save it and name it.
Oh,
You've done that.
There's actually, wait a minute, there's a much easier way to do it than that. That's another way, but if you're on Facebook, and I take my virtual background came from a Facebook listing, and I just opened the picture, right clicked on it, and then there's 3 little dots in there, and you put your cursor on that, and it gives you an option. It just says save photo. When you save the photo, it goes right to your photo bank.
to your photos. Okay. Thank you.
Works
That
really
was
well.
very helpful. Yeah, that's easy enough to do.
That was from an Apple device. I
Okay,
did it for my iPad or my iPhone.
and that's right clicking, right?
You right click on the photo and then, it highlights just the picture. Then up in the top right-hand corner, 3 little dots again, click on that. And one of them options is take photo. You just hit that and it goes right to your photo bank.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. That explains that. Yeah.
Now, the other thing that happens a lot, well, people ask to be friended. And I get, 3 or 4 every day. People that I know, I will respond to that and allow them to be a friend. And I don't know exactly what being a friend advantages, but maybe I get to see their postings and they get to see mine. But anyway, I try to limit that. And so I was kind of astounded when I look here and it said I had 233 friends. I didn't know that. But usually I just ignore it and they go away. I don't necessarily reject it. One thing I look at is I will bring up their page and see who their friends are and what they've been posting. And if it is interesting to me, I will friend them. But normally I don't do the friending. And I'm not sure what advantage that is other than you get to see their postings, I expect. I spend, unfortunately, an inordinate amount of time on Facebook every day. I just want to see what other people are saying. Oh, one thing up here at the top, there's some interesting thing. Notice that I have highlighted up here at the top. One of the options is called news. In fact, I just discovered that today. But if I click on news, it essentially brings up top stories, which I don't know who determines what those are, but and I've never looked at this before, but I'm just telling you that it is available and I don't know that I'll ever use it again. The other things on this top menu, news, the one to the left of it is called different groups. Groups are sort of interesting collections of, here's groups that I manage. I have Facebook Senior Computer Group. I have one for all my relatives. And these are various groups that I have joined. And not looking at them, I'm going to go back and maybe delete some of them because I don't want them all. Then left of that is this marketplace, which unless you're into buying something you really don't want to go to. Left of that is a watch list, which I'm not sure what the heck the watch list is. And I've never used it before. I do use this home button quite a bit. The one to the left of that, which then takes me back to the start, which is what's on my mind, Will. But so you can have a lot of fun. You can talk to a lot of friends. You can see what's going on in the world. You can tell people about what you're interested in. You can find all sorts of interesting groups that may just discuss things that you are specifically interested in. And you can waste a lot of time. But any questions? See if we can field questions.
Fran has her virtual hand up.
Okay, so first of all, friending somebody, theoretically, they go in your news feed, but what it really does is it allows you to see all the other details, like where their bio information and their work history and all their other friends, depending on the person's setting. Because otherwise, if you go to somebody's website and they keep it private, you don't get to see everything. So that's first of all. Second thing is be careful of ads on Facebook because they got the worst reputation of selling the worst junk. And, having a picture like it looks great and then it's never what it looks like. And there was a third thing. So even though your friend did, theoretically, what would be nice is if you got everybody's feed. but they have an algorithm that they choose whose feed you get to see. So like I have friends, for example, that I'd like to know what's going on with them, but I never get their feed. So that's one other thing about it. The point of being a friend is to get your feed, but the only ones by a logarithm they think you're interested in.
Yeah, thank you. One thing I should bring up, they do monitor the messages, and they do have a way of banning you if you are doing things they don't like. And it's called Facebook jail. And you can be put in Facebook jail for different lengths of time. Again, they're essentially against any pornography, any bad language, any attacks against other people, maybe even talking about subjects that they don't want you to talk about, some things political. They claim that they go to some sort of a database to check if the information is true. I think recently they've indicated it's strictly someone's judgment, not or opinion, not that it's based upon fact. But I fortunately have never been put in jail, but a lot of my friends are spend a lot of time in jail, and I don't necessarily know why, but they do. So you might want to look at somewhere you can look and see what the Facebook rules are for postings and what they object to and what they will ban you for.
Hank has his hand raised.
Yeah, Hank?
Okay, Will, I'm going to stop your screen sharing. And then I'm going to share mine.
The prerogative of the chief here.
In a moment, I'm going to share mine, which is, oh, wait, I'll share mine and then show you how I'm going to get there. Okay, share screen. And click the sound and click what I want to share, which is my Google page. And now that I'm on my Google page, I'm going to go to the Seniors Computer Group website.
You do have a number of blocks.
Just wait a minute, please. This is going to take long. If you go to the Seniors Computer Group website now and click events, because events is either a schedule for a meeting, which we don't list anymore, or it is a list of things that have been shown on various meetings. And in this particular case, you scroll down and here are links to videos that have been offered in the past. You go down 2020, 21, 22, August 22, Facebook. If you click on this, it will run the YouTube video that was shown last week, in case anybody wants to go back and watch that Facebook YouTube video. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Hank.
Pat has her virtual hand up
Pat?
and she needs to unmute.
Yes, I did. Okay, my question is like really simple. So I think it's simple. So Will, when you started the Facebook, I don't use Facebook. So was that this, was that the scene that you opened up to when you opened up to Facebook, the stories and all that stuff? Or what is the opening scene?
It comes up with what they call a news page. It's not actually a different, they have a different news area which gives local news and things like that. Otherwise, but this news page just features comments and pictures and things that they think you would like.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
I don't
how
think you're
that's
answering her
determined.
question, Will. I think the answer is to do that, you go to your browser and you type in Facebook Will Wakely. And when you click on that, you'll get a link to Will Wakely's Facebook page. When you click on that, you'll see what he's been showing us. If you
No, that's
put
not
in
true, Hank.
Facebook Patricia, you may or may not get a Facebook page because you may or may not have already set up a Facebook page for Patricia. If you haven't, you won't get anything.
But Pat, was that your question?
Yeah, basically it was, what do you see when you first open up Facebook? I mean, you know, you can www.facebook.com or whatever the devil it is. And then what do you see when you do that? If you have your own Facebook page, if
you just open up
Google Facebook.
if you just open up www.facebook.com, which I do, that just brings me to this news page. It's not my page. It brings me to sort of a news page that contains a lot of comments made by lots of different people that they think I'm going to be interested in. I don't have any control about what goes on that news page, but it's what Facebook thinks that I would like.
If I could interject here for a moment, Pat, are you asking if you create a new Facebook account for yourself, what is in that web browser page?
Okay, no,
Is that what you're asking?
No, Will was getting to what I was asking. He just hasn't followed through to the rest of it. Okay, so you get the news page, and then how do you get to your Facebook page, and what does that look like?
You click on your icon, blue icon in the upper right-hand corner.
So that's going to appear on this news page
yes,
that you're talking about.
Right. And that will,
Oh,
I believe that will take you to your personal page.
That would only be true if you were logged into Facebook, wouldn't it, Will?
Well, you are logged into Facebook when you.
No, you could log out of Facebook, can you not? Any website?
Yeah, I just close it.
No, log out, different.
Oh.
It's a security issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have to ever worry about logging out. I just click on.
Okay, if somebody doesn't have a Facebook page and they go to facebook.com, they're not going to see their blue icon in the upper right corner, will they?
You're right. You're right.
okay, so then
You have to generate your own Facebook page.
okay, so if well, my son put me up into something, so I've never used it. Or sometimes I accidentally it connects with something and I end up on it. But anyway, so if I'm logged in, then it'll pop up and then I'll see my personal page. Is that it?
No, when I first log on with facebook.com, it brings me to this general news page, which is a lot of stuff from a lot of people, mainly from people that are my friends, maybe some entries that are not my friends. I don't have any control over that particular page, other than I can comment to it and I can edit it.
We're kind of a step
But
behind.
it doesn't take me to my personal page. Now, to get to your personal page, I'm sure you probably have to set up an account with. There is a place which says, generate my personal page. I haven't looked for that.
Patricia, you do have a page. I just put in Facebook and then your name, and it took me to your page.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
You
Okay,
didn't know
so
you had one.
I would go facebook.com and then
Just put in your name. Yeah,
and put in my name.
search for that. And actually, it gave me a list of several people whose names look similar to yours, but I found yours. I clicked on it, and there's a page there.
So you can see my Facebook page.
Well, the thing
Okay,
is, I can see the public version of it, which is what you put out to the world.
Oh, the public version.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And one thing to notice, when Will went into his page, he got all the editing controls so he can change it. A person like me coming into Will's page, I see just the public version. I have no editing. I can look but not touch.
Oh, okay. So then if I'm logged in, I will see more.
You'll have editing controls. Yeah.
I'll have editing. Okay. And then I guess I can figure out whether I'm logged in or logged out. So typically on your, computer, do you stay logged in?
Why not?
If you go to a Facebook page and you're not logged in, on the top banner, they will have something that says, your phone number, your password, and a big blue login button. And if you don't have an account, they'll keep bugging you to make a Facebook account.
Okay, yeah, I got one. Okay.
I
So-
never have to log in. For some reason, if I just go to facebook.com, it knows who I am and brings it up. I expect it's probably in cookies or something.
Why do you go to facebook.com? Why don't you just hit on your icon? I never log in. I just go to the icon and I'm in. Maybe it automatically logs me. I guess my password's been saved, probably.
Yeah.
Is this an icon on your desktop, Alice?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
You have a shortcut to your Facebook page as an icon on your computer's desktop.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Thank you.
I go there from my browser. In my browser, I have social as a folder, and within the social folder is Facebook.
And so you have a shortcut to your Facebook
Yeah,
page
I do.
stored in your browser as opposed to stored on the desktop.
Correct. Yeah. Barbara?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think part of my question's been answered, but are you protected from people accessing your Facebook page? I mean, you must have a login and a password that you use to access it. Or can anybody go on and access it online?
I think anybody can go on. They can't get to my personal data, but they can go online and see what I posted.
Well, what you've chosen to share publicly on your page is available to the general public. You don't even need an account.
Really?
But there's lots of stuff which you can share to individual people, to your friend group, or to the public. And so they could find out if you've posted public things on your Facebook page, then anyone in the public can look at that. So,
That's scary.
well, that's it. So be careful when you do that.
Yeah, be careful what you post.
Yeah, I think we need to get a life and get away from all this stuff. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Pat again?
Yeah, Pat again. Referring now to the sharing. Okay, so I gather the sharing can mean like emails and stuff like that. Is that right? Or does it have, how do they?
Oh, when you
It's
click
very
share,
complicated. Facebook rules about who can see what are very complicated. If you watched last week's presentation, it talks about that and shows you where you go on Facebook to control who can see what. And it's not simple. It's far from
yeah,
simple.
when you get a post, when you're looking at a post, one of the choices is usually share. There's a share icon. That brings up a submenu in which you can say, who do you want to share it with? Share it with your own Facebook page or share it with others. I don't recall all the variations that you can do, but there are several there. You can control to whom you want to share that particular post.
Oh, okay.
But Patricia, I just wanted to say that sometimes there's a lot of messaging which is within Facebook. So that's not like an email that's with, internal to Facebook. A lot of the posts are internal to Facebook. A lot of the, friend requests are internal to Facebook. You can also take something that's been generated in Facebook and you could email that to somebody and then it's out of Facebook's control. But a lot of this stuff, and Facebook wants to keep you on the Facebook site. So they make a lot of things available from within the Facebook site.
Okay.
And if you have Facebook on your cell phone, you can set up notifications there where if anyone posted a notification on Facebook, it shows up on your phone immediately as a notification. I don't use the phone for Facebook. I do Facebook strictly on the computer.
Well,
But I did notice that the Facebook app seems to be slightly different on the phone than it is on my computer. And totally confusing to me.
Kind of leads to my next question. So if you get an email with somebody doing, passing along Facebook pictures or whatever. Usually it's of their dogs and whatever. But in case it's not, there's a couple that I kind of, can you forward that to someone else? Now, this is a Facebook thing on your mail. Can you forward it to anybody, or does that person have to have a Facebook account?
I think you can forward anything that comes in an email to anyone.
But Patricia, whether that other person can see it depends on whether the person's Facebook account has shared that in a way that they can see it. So that basically, the link can point you to somebody's Facebook page, but if that person is not someone they've shared something to, I don't think it'll work. So that, presumably, if you got an email, it was from someone that is willing to share that link with you, they point it, and you click on the link and it goes to their Facebook page or something. And now I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's partly where a lot of these visibility controls comes in. That way you could, you could share a link with someone and not be worried that that link then gets to people that you don't want it to be shared to.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Okay. So
I'm sharing now just to show you. This is facebook.com. And if you go to my page, which I got there by clicking on facebook.com and then putting Hank Drayton. But under that, when you click here, one of the options, when you click on your face on Facebook, one of the options is settings and privacy. And if you click on that, it gives you a privacy checkup. If you click on that, it will show you who can see what you share, how to keep your accounts. You need to click on each one of these and set it the way you want to control all these things, including what ads you see and how often you see them and about what. So I'm just saying that the way you control this is complicated, and the way you do it is by going to your own account page and clicking settings and privacy, and then searching each one of these and setting it the way that you want. And I will.
Okay, well actually mine is more a question of like, okay, so I've got this Facebook thing on my Gmail from actually my ex's old friend. And so he's pretty old. At any rate, it says it's from him at Mar-a-Lago or something like that. And it says view check-in. Now, if I click on this, I'm seeing this. I'm not on his Facebook page. So if I wanted to send that's in my email account to someone else, I've tried doing it. It hasn't worked real well. So I was wondering, is it possible to do that or not? Or has anybody done it or?
To do exactly what? Would you say that again, please?
I think she just wants to forward an email to somebody else. Do you know how to do that, Pat?
Yes.
And she wants to know if the link will work when it gets to the next person.
Well, see, a lot of times it won't go, and I'm not sure why it won't go. Some people said it's maybe they don't have Facebook. So
Are you saying the email won't go out from your computer?
No, the email, I'm trying to remember, does it go out or not?
It sounds like the link may not work when the new recipient opens up and tries to click on the link.
Right. For some reason or other, it doesn't go. I'll have to practice on why it doesn't go.
But what you're trying to do is forward an email that you got. That's Facebook information.
That's
right?
it. With
If it's just an email, it ought to be forwardable.
Well, somehow it doesn't work. What I have to do usually is do a screenshot of whatever I want to do, and then I basically forward that. So
You put that somewhere and then you send that.
Yes, that's what I've been doing. But I'm
I
wondering.
don't see why you should have to do that. Saul, David,
Unless she's talking, if she's just talking about a link, it's just like text and email, it would go out. If there are embedded images in the email and you're trying to forward that and you're saying, well, maybe the images don't go along with the email you're forwarding, that's a separate issue.
Okay, well, yeah, well, that's it. I want to send the image. So
Okay,
how
there's one thing I wanted to bring up, and that is hacking. Your Facebook can get hacked, and it does happen fairly often. And I expect it's because somebody figured out what your password is, but it will show up with people trying to befriend you or whatever, and you look and you say, wait a minute, they're already my friend. Why are they asking me again? And there's some clues as the fact that you have been hacked, and they will use your name to do all kinds of nefarious things. So watch out for that.
okay.
And for what it's worth, if anybody's interested, I posted in the chat the link to this group's Facebook page.
Okay. All right. All right. So actually, when I clicked on the share part, it's just Facebook, internal Facebook stuff. So now I'm going to try to email it to, you have to understand my computer is still slower than molasses in January. But let me see what happens if I forward it.
Maybe you could forward it to yourself, and that way you'll see
that's
what they see.
Yeah, but I have Facebook. Well, okay.
You could send it to yourself and then open it on your phone.
Okay, let me see.
Or if you have two email accounts, you can send it from one to the other.
So if it's looking for an image that's on her computer, then it's going to find it. If she opens it in a different device, then maybe that would then show that it's there or not there.
Okay,
I see.
yeah. Trying to forward it now, but as I said, I've got the very slow computer. They want to do things. It won't even click. To put 2 in it. Oh, there it goes, maybe.
Well, why don't you work on that, Patricia?
I'll work on that.
See if anybody else has questions on the presentation. If not, I guess it's a segue to Q&A.
Well, a lot of things on Facebook should be intuitive, and many are, but some things are not, in which case there's a lot of help available on Facebook. So happy Facebooking. As I say, I spend more time on it than I should, but that's part of my enjoyment.
And Dan has his hand raised.
Dan?
Yes, it seems like I've tried to go to our Facebook account before and I couldn't see it because I do not have a Facebook account. So unless you have a Facebook account, you can't look at the Seniors Computer Group Facebook account.
I was just there and I don't have a Facebook account, and some Facebook accounts are fully public and others, Facebook would like you to log in to see portions of it, to just know who you are. So it depends on the Facebook page.
Okay.
I also do not have a Facebook account. I clicked on the link and I can see the publicly available portion of that page.
Okay, this was some time ago. Maybe that corrected that.
Mr. Stevenson.
I was just going to reiterate the same thing. I don't have a Facebook account, but I can see most of the senior working group public page. And of course, if you say see more, it says you have to log in, which I don't have an account. So I usually give up at that point. It's the same thing with Will's page. You know, I can get to it. I can see you. I can see your picture in the background, but that's about it.
Okay, Barbara.
I just tried going onto Facebook with my name, and it lists a whole bunch of Barbara Wilkinsons. Ones that did not have a photo, I could not access unless I created an account or logged in. So you're really restricted when you don't have an account to what you can access. So anyway, that's about the only comment. When we get to regular Q&A. I have another question, but that'll wait. Thank you.
Before we
on,
get to
because that's what
Q&A,
we're
let
doing.
me show you one more thing. Whoops, come on. Share screen, here we are. Share. If you Google, excuse me, if you go to YouTube and put up at the top of the YouTube page, Introduction to Facebook. If you're interested in this, I would suggest that you do this. Go to YouTube, put in Introduction to Facebook, and play one or more of these videos. This one's 12 minutes long. You can certainly share that much of your life. I don't know about this one, but there are several of them. This is 9 minutes long. There's lots of information there.
I would also just say, look at how many years ago they were made, because Facebook changes frequently enough.
Just
that-
$67.
Amen.
Hopefully it will be enough to help you get up and running.
I haven't seen any place that it says to update Facebook. I expect there is a place somewhere. Does it do it?
It's not an
automatically?
app. I mean, not on your computer. It's not
Yeah.
an app.
Because I was surprised when my cell phone app was quite different from my computer app.
It's not a computer app. It's a page on a web
Well, okay,
browser.
yeah.
So that page on the web browser is updated all the time. On your phone, it may be an app, which means it will lag and be different. They do things differently on phones. They have different resources available.
Yeah.
Barbara? Is yours a Facebook question or Q&A?
Okay. Do we have, it's the first time I've noticed it. I went onto the our webpage, the San Diego Senior Computer Group, and do we have to log in at all? Do we have a login?
No.
I noticed when I tried to access the Facebook from last week that it had a request that I had to sign in.
Shouldn't. Maybe I screwed up when I posted that. I'll go look.
You check it out. Okay, my other question was on my other PC computer. Okay, when I can turn it on and I get the time and the date, and then I get the, where is it? I get the owner sign in. So when I sign in, then all I get is a plain white screen. I can't do anything with it. Can you tell me what, if the thing has just crashed or what?
Will, you can answer that?
Oh, I think Ross could probably help with that.
Ross?
Okay, so you come on a blank screen, but nothing will act. You can't click on the 4 white squares on the lower left.
I have no squares, no nothing. It's just a plain white screen. Once I click on sign in, that's where it ends.
This is
And you only have one
sign
user.
into our webpage is what you're talking about?
I don't know. It's not signed into
It's
anything.
her computer.
It's logging onto her computer. She gets a
Oh.
login screen, but when she completes the login, instead of getting the desktop, she gets a blank screen.
Right.
Ross, help.
Just
You're-
waiting for everybody else to finish. So if it just comes up to a white screen, then you might need to go back through the troubleshooting, which would then let you go backwards and uninstall the latest updates. Because if it's just going to a white screen, that means it's stuck somewhere. And the way you can get to that is you turn the computer off cold. Then when you turn it on, and as soon as you see the 3 dots, the circle of dots, I should say, spinning, turn the computer off right then. Then turn it back on again, wait for those dots to start spinning, turn it off again. Then the third time when you do that, it should come up and says, please wait.
Okay, so 3 times I gotta, come on, get on again.
The 2 times you wait for the spinning dots and turn the computer off. The
Right.
3rd time, it should come up and say, please wait. and then it brings you up to a troubleshooting page. And I don't remember exactly offhand, but you need to go in there and troubleshoot, and you can call me later and we can go through it. I can find the steps and let you go back to say, when was the last time it worked, basically, and it will take you back and uninstall the updates that have been installed and get rid of that blank screen.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. I will work on that. Thank
Okay.
you.
That is really good advice, Ross, for all of us. On the day when you push the on button and you end up saying something that I can't repeat on this channel.
Yeah, and it's and Google for that. How do I go back in time in Windows 10? And then it will let you go through going into the safe mode and get to the command prompt, and you can do all kinds of things in the built-in Windows that's there that will just bring you up to the basic computer.
Okay, we're in Q&A. And I see no hands. Look, Ma, no hands.
Willie, did you have a comment?
I was going to ask what operating system she was talking about, but Ross said Windows 10. So
Windows 10.
right.
Stanley.
I just want to see if there's interest in getting my impression of the discussion on hybrid meetings. I can save it for the board meeting, or if there's enough interest here to see what other user groups are doing about hybrid meetings.
I'd vote for about 5 minutes of talking.
Yeah, I was going to say, due to the hour, I think it might be better to save it.
That's fine. No problem.
Yeah, we've got a board meeting in another 2 weeks.
Okay, so the hybrid meeting, just in general, you're saying if we were to go to a location like Wesley Palms, I would say you need to count out Wesley Palms for quite a while, because they are still in severe lockdown and requiring that people have their vaccinations and sign in. So trying to use that facility, I think, is going to be difficult.
Right. And briefly, the consensus of the group is don't bother. Few groups, with a large number of groups, were represented, and none of them are successfully doing hybrid meetings. And they're finding their membership is not really interested in hybrid meetings. They just as soon stick with the Zoom meeting as we're used to. That's my summary.
That's a very useful summary. It makes me, as programs guy, that makes me very happy.
You're doing a great job, Hank. Thank you.
And basically, I would say what hybrid is useful for is if you regularly meet in person and there's a few people that are away but want to attend, they can attend hybridly, and the regular meeting goes on in person. If the regular meeting isn't in person, don't do hybrid.
Okay, I think it's about time. What time is it? It's 2 minutes to noon, and that's about the time that we usually quit. So I think next week we start on spreadsheets and Excel and other stuff. Such stuff. SUCHSTUFF. So
And that's also Labor Day weekend,
it is it?
and Monday being a holiday.
How many people are going to be, wave your hand if you're not going to come next week because it is Labor Day.
There you go.
Hands. All right.
You got to love this retirement community here.
See you all next week. I'm going to click the end button.
Okay, bye, folks.
End meeting for all.